So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a masking technique inspired by Mondrian, who's an abstract Dutch painter. And what I have is watercolor paper, masking tape or painter's tape, and then I have the primary colors because most of his pictures were in primary colors, so red, yellow, and blue. And I'm using the tube watercolor, but if you're working with kids and you want to use the Crayola pan, what you can do is masking tape off the other colors that you don't want them to use. And so Mondrian was an abstract painter, and most of his pictures actually used lines to create rectangles, and that was the basis of a lot of his pictures. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tape, and you can actually stick it to your clothes so that it doesn't rip off parts of the paper when you're done and you pull it up. And I'm going to use it to create a large square and some rectangles because I'm actually using composition in red, yellow, and blue as my example. And so you might want to look that up and be able to show that to the children. I'm actually just going to make another rectangle down here. And when you're ready, you want the large square to be red. So I'm just going to cover it with water first so that it prepares the paper. And some of the vocabulary that you can use for this lesson are the primary colors, so red, yellow, and blue. You can also talk about different types of lines, vertical lines and horizontal lines. And also geometric shapes such as squares or rectangles. One game I like to play with the kids to talk about lines, vertical and horizontal lines, is I like to tell them to stand up straight and hold their hands in the air and reach for the sky. And then I tell them that they are a vertical line. And then you tell them all to lay down on the floor and you tell them that they're horizontal lines. And then you just practice that with the kids, and they think it's really funny because they get to move all around the place. And you do want to make sure that they paint along the edges of the masking tape because this is actually what's going to create your lines. And also let them know if they get paint on the tape, it's okay because the tape is coming off. And actually we're going to use the tape in order to create our black lines. Okay, and then after you're done with this, you just make sure they wash off their brush really well. And they're going to choose the next color and the next rectangle that they want to paint. So I'm actually going to do this one yellow. And then you're going to want one blue rectangle as well. Alright, and then after you're done with that, what you're going to want to do is get your black paint. And I'm using the black tube again. And you're going to pull off the masking tape. And either you can help the kids or the kids actually really enjoy doing it themselves. It's just that if the tape is very sticky, it sometimes will rip the paper. And so you just want to tell them to pull it off as slow as possible. And what you have are these gorgeous rectangles and squares created by the masking tape. And now what they're going to do is they're going to take their brush and dip it in the black, and they're going to follow the edges and create the black lines. For younger kids, you can also cut out black strips of paper and go ahead and glue it to their paper and then have them paint inside the rectangles. And you want to make sure you have a black line on either side of any colored rectangle or square. And in the end, what you have is an abstract painting just like Mondrian.